Bernie Sanders weighed in on the so-called Bernie bros that have been mentioned repeatedly on the internet. So let's listen to what he had to say.
Have you heard about this phenomenon, Bernie bros, people who support you and sometimes attack in very crude and sexist ways?
I have heard about it.
Clinton
It's disgusting.
supporters?
Look, we don't want that crap. We can't, and we will do everything we can, and I think we have tried. Look, that anybody who is supporting me is doing sexist things we don't want them. I don't want them. That is not what this campaign is about.
So he's clear, he's on the record there. He says, insofar as there are people that are doing that, I have no interest in even getting their support. Go away. That's his position. Now, it's a unique claim from Hillary supporters that indeed there are these Bernie bros that are super sexist all the time against Hillary Clinton, because Bernie, for example, has repeatedly, he tweets all day long on his various accounts as he's running for president here, or he has staffers tweet for him, although I do think it's him because it sounds like him the way he's tweeting, but he repeatedly rips sexism. He repeatedly has called for equal pay for women. If you're somebody who's sexist, it's a weird candidate to get behind if you're with the person who's consistently calling for equal rights for women. Look, I don't deny that there are probably some people who support Bernie who I would disagree with on many things. He might disagree with on many things. And perhaps there are people who are assholes. Every group, no matter what kind of group it is going to have some percentage that's assholes. But are they particularly worse than any other group or somehow more sexist? No. It just seems to be completely and utterly made up. Now, even though I think that's the case, is this a good response from Bernie? Yeah. It'd probably make it a bigger story inadvertently if he was like, I don't think there's anything to this. So what does he do? He just says, look, if that's the case, I have no interest in them. I don't even want their support. So it's a smart way of handling it. But, perhaps we can put this issue to rest if we could find, maybe some kind of evidence that indeed this is mostly contrived and it's a campaign strategy and it's not really based in fact. If there just happened to be, for example, maybe articles written back in 2008 when Hillary was running against Obama where people pretended like Obama supporters were really sexist, maybe that would show that this is just a campaign strategy and this isn't, oh, goodness gracious. That indeed is the case. Back when Hillary Clinton was running against President Obama, at the time, Senator Barack Obama, they were called Obama boys. And the idea was, how can you support anybody except Hillary Clinton? The people who support President Obama or Senator Obama are so immensely sexist that look at us write articles about it. Aren't we such moral Hillary supporters here, calling out the bigotry and intolerance and sexism of Obama supporters? Okay. Guys, newsflash. This is what you do when you can't win on actual policy substance. If it was the case that Hillary Clinton and her supporters could sit down face-to-face with Bernie supporters or Bernie and say, okay, look, here's why you're wrong about single-payer Medicare for all. Here's why you're wrong about bringing back Glass-Steagall, an updated version of it, and breaking up the big banks. Hey, here's why you're wrong on, you go down the list, on all the different positions he has. If they could do that, and they could make compelling arguments, you think they'd need to resort to this tactic? Sexist! You're sexist! Bernie bros, Bernie bros, Bernie bros. No, they do this because they got nowhere else to go, man. Hillary's flailing. Notice, sometimes she makes the argument, he's not practical, his ideas are too far left, I'm guilty of being the moderate. Yeah, I'm going to be smart, I'm going to be pragmatic in how I get these things through. She makes that argument half the time, and then the other half of the time, she pretends like she's more progressive than Bernie. Hillary, which is it? You can't have both at the same time. Either you're more progressive than him, like you pretend about your Wall Street plan, even though it's not, or you're less, and you're saying, I'm more pragmatic, so vote for me. But you argue both things at the same time. That's a contradiction. It doesn't make any sense, Hillary. It makes no sense. So what do? Well, you can't win in the realm of ideas because you're going against a guy who has a long history of being for progressive ideas and being consistent. So you and your supporters, Bill Clinton did it recently. Bill Clinton came out yesterday. Oh, Bernie lives in a hermetically sealed box, he said. All this rampant and vicious sexism against Hillary online. Dude, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? No, this is a political strategy. It's clear it's a political strategy. And the idea is to try to shame people into voting for Hillary and doing guilt by association. As if, so let's say for a second it were true. Now, it's not true, but let's say it's true that there were these evil, sexist Bernie bros. In no way, shape, or form has Bernie done anything that would make it seem like he wanted to support them in the first place, where he's tweeting about women's rights and feminism and equality. And his policy positions are good for everybody in the country. The idea that you would pin it on him, even if there were so-called Bernie bros, that's denying agency to the people who would be the so-called Bernie bros. And again, let me be clear, that's not the case. There aren't those people. I'm sure there are some assholes, but there are assholes in every group, and they're in no way more representative of Bernie Sanders followers. If anything, these people seem to know quite a lot more about policy. That's kind of why they're supporting Bernie in the first place. So this is utter nonsense. This was a strategy used then, it's a strategy used now, and this is right in line with what Hillary said in the last debate. How dare Bernie call me establishment? I'm female. Oh, as if it's impossible to be part of the establishment because you're female. You didn't take that Goldman Sachs money for the speeches. You didn't take money from the health insurance industry and the health industry. You didn't take money from other Wall Street firms. You weren't Secretary of State. You weren't First Lady. You weren't a senator from New York. None of that counts because I have a vagina.